LHA will now cover the cheapest third. So that is good news. I think this is probably the most important part of the budget for property investors. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Rodcast. Today is a autumn budget special. So we had the autumn budget, which was done by Jeremy Hunt yesterday on the 22nd of November. And today is Thursday, the 23rd. And I'm just going through some of the briefing notes to have a look at really what's relevant for property investors. So, first thing that came to mind is we have the largest ever increase to minimum wage, which is great, definitely great for tenants, great for the most vulnerable in society. We've got 18 to 20-year-olds, minimum wage has gone up by 14.8%, 21 and over is up almost 10%, 16 and 17-year-olds up over 21%, as are apprenticeships. So that's good news for renters. Possibly bad news for inflation hanging around longer, because obviously people are getting more money. It's not the issues in terms of costs of living are not going to affect them as much, and that's going to give a lag on inflation. We also have LHA news. So it's been 3 years since the LHA has been frozen, and it's finally been unfrozen up to the 30th percentile. So what that means is the LHA rate will cover the cheapest third of local market rents. So each local market will have a broad kind of look at what the rents are, and the LHA will now cover the cheapest third. So that is good news. I think when LHA came out, it was around 2010, 2011. It used to cover 50%. So we're not quite there yet, but it's certainly, I think this is probably the most important part of the budget for property investors, because that does motivate a lot more landlords, a lot more investors to look at that LHA rate. So I think that is really, really, really positive news. Universal credit and other benefits have also gone up by 6.7%. So again, good news for those renters at the lower end of sort of the income percentile. So again, if you're a landlord and that is your tenant market, that's going to be good news for you as well. For commercial landlords, we've had a freeze on business rates, or how business rates are calculated. Really what I guess this is saying is the government hasn't got round to looking at how they need to calculate business rates, so they've just frozen it for another year. They have also, this year we've had the 75% discount on business rates for hospitality, retail and leisure. They've also extended that for another year. So great news if you are a landlord or even an operator on hospitality, retail or leisure. A bit of a weird one. They said they put in £3 million to invest in tech to help speed up the process of buying and selling homes. So that could be, for example, a database on councils' websites of kind of documents you need. So it could be searches, things like that. 3 million doesn't strike me as a huge amount of money for that. So it is to invest in pilots. So it's good that they've got that on their radar. Not sure how seriously they're taking it with a 3 million investment into some pilots about it, though. So, yeah, interesting one. The big one that people are talking about is this PD right, so permitted development right, to convert a house to 2 flats as long as the exterior remains unchanged. Now, I just need to highlight that this is about a consultation. So they're going to do a consultation for this permitted development right in the new year. So they're not saying in the new year this will be a permitted development right. They're saying they are going to do a consultation on it in the new year. I guess what they are trying to do here is to basically say, hey, look, we have now created some new homes by splitting houses into flats. So yeah, new homes, tick box, but getting rid of family housing, which is already in very short supply compared to flats. Not sure if this is a particularly good one. I don't really agree with it. I think lots of houses, especially down in the southeast, where prices are higher, you'll find that a house will be higher value than two flats. Where it might be useful is in cheaper areas where it's needed to cover the rent as well, rental stress test for landlords. So it might be an option there. But a very bit of a strange one, I thought. So I'll be interested to see that consultation and the finer details there. Another one, anyone who has annual tax on enveloped dwellings. So that's residential dwellings that are unused, basically. That's going up by 6.7%. Now, typically, there's so many release on this. It's hard to find a reason where you would be paying this, but just make sure you have got your ducks in a row when it comes to ATED. It can come and bite you if you haven't been sensible about that. Also, they are looking at for the planning department a guaranteed accelerated decision date in exchange for a fee. So what they're saying is they will guarantee a decision by this date, and you'll have to pay for that privilege, of course, which I'm pretty sure most developers will not mind doing. And if they don't give that if they don't give that decision by the guaranteed date, they will obviously refund your money, and I think also do the rest of the planning permission for free. This does seem to be on larger developments. So again, be interested to see what the kind of the details are behind that. They are also doing some local development orders to ensure that key commercial developments are approved faster. Again, sounds fantastic, but how? Details, please. They are investing 110 million to deliver schemes to offset nutrient pollution. So this is kind of going back to this whole nutrient neutrality issues that we've had all this year, holding up development. So they're putting 110 million pounds towards that to speed up and really offset those stalled developments. They are expanding the affordable houses guaranteed scheme. So there's already 3 billion that's been put into it. They're expanding it by another 3 billion. What this is it's creating really a fund for housing associations to access cheaper loans for the delivery of new build houses and also energy efficiency works. Interesting that they're funding energy efficiency works when they haven't even worked out how to calculate energy efficiency yet, as we've seen earlier this year with the EPCs. They've also put 450 million towards the local authority housing fund, which is now, I think, up to about 1.2 billion. This fund is, interestingly enough, they've actually named it's to deliver 2,400 new housing units. And weirdly, they've named 4 Afghan refugees. They haven't named any other refugees from any other nations, so that's a bit odd. And also to help homelessness. So obviously that's a good thing if we can alleviate homelessness, if we can build more affordable homes. It's desperately needed. 120 million they're putting towards homeless prevention. And again, they've kind of said including support for Ukrainians. The other thing they talked about is the mortgage guarantee scheme. So if you remember when Help to Buy ended, they brought out this mortgage guarantee scheme, which allows you to have 95% loan to value. They've extended this for 18 months, although the take-up of it so far has been minute. Just under 1%, I think, of buyers are using this scheme. So it'll be interesting to see how it carries on. It's a bit tricky at the moment with interest rates so high. It's tough for people to basically show off that they've got the earnings and the income to cover the mortgage repayments on that. So really, that is a very quick whistle stop of some of the main points to do with housing. There are, of course, others. I will put in the show notes a link to the autumn briefing notes. It is a fascinating read. If you need to fall asleep, all kind of 200 odd pages will help you do that. There is a great function though. If you press Control F, you can then search for any words, for example, mortgage, housing, planning, etc. So that can be quite helpful, and that will be in the show notes. As always, if you find the Rodcast helpful, please do follow us on whichever podcast platform you listen to. And please also share, like, tell your friends about us. Anyone that's interested in property, business, or investment will hopefully find it useful. Look forward to you hearing from me again very soon. Thank you. Bye.